What is up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to NoLifeTilMetal. I am doing yet another NoLifeTilMetal graphics update video. This is going to be stuff from NoLifeTilMetal Records, from Soundmass, which is a company out of Australia and the UK, and also Roxx Records out of California. Got a little bit of everything to show here, literally. I've got CD and vinyl and 7-inch and 12-inch, and so yeah, this should be a fun video. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully some of this stuff will spark your interest and you'll support these smaller independent companies. Let's start off with NoLifeTilMetal Records. So this is brand new, just came out, but this is a brand new release from Madrost. You've heard me pimping these guys before. I absolutely love this California thrash band. Tanner Poppet being the main man here. I'm sure you've seen him on his own Poppet's Corner on YouTube, as well as he's been a guest several times on the Metal Roundtable. But this is From the Crypts to Chaos, live and raw. So this is demos and live material. It's got a live show from 2012 on there, and it's got all their early demos in here. So it's got Infected Chaos from 2010, it's got the self-titled demo from 2009, it's got the Crypt Keeper demo from 2008. So this is thrash. I mean, they are a thrash band. They border death metal on times, but I definitely wouldn't label them a death metal band. They do have that aggression at times, but it's not blast beats and all that sort of thing. Tanner's voice is very aggressive, but he doesn't really necessarily do a deep dark growl either. To me, they're a thrash band. So if you're into stuff like early death, you probably like stuff like this. You know, it kind of rides that fence, or Possessed, Sepultura, you know, those kind of things. So anyhow, so the booklet came out really nice on this one. There are no lyrics. This time we opted to go no lyrics in favor of the entire booklet is write-ups about the songs and about the early time of the career, written by mostly by Tanner, but also by the artists who did some of their early artwork. And there's lots of cool photos. You can see this huge photo of a young Tanner Poppet right there with his long mane. He's got pictures of the original demo covers on each of the write-ups. It's got a collage of early photos. You can see all the different bands they played with back in the day. You can see their old early logo. I love their new logo much better. Tons of photos, you know, the obligatory thrash. I love these things. This is the kind of thing I like. Put the music on, I just sit there and go through and stare at all these pictures while it's playing. So I've always loved the collages that went in these thrash things. But there you go, more write-ups, more photos, and another collage of more early flyers. So this thing came out stellar. It sounds great. Rob Caldwell from Bombworks Sound once again did the mastering on this, so it's just brilliant. This is available. I think the price is still $10 on NoLifeTilMetalRecords.com, or you can go to RoxxRecords.com and hit on the NoLifeTilMetal fist, and that'll take you there as well. Or you can go to NoLifeTilMetal.com and hit on just hit on records. There's lots of ways you can get there. But anyhow, Madrost, From Crypts to Chaos on NoLifeTilMetal Records. And then a couple more on NoLifeTilMetal Records, and I can't remember what I've shown and what I haven't shown because it's been a while, so I'm going to be quick on these. I'm pretty sure I showed this one before, but I'm going to show it again because this is Texas thrash band Gammacide. We are nearly sold out on these. We did a really short run of them, so if you want one, don't hesitate, because this thing, so the originals of these things sell for a couple $100. They're really hard to find. Even on the original cassettes are hard to find. Then it was remastered and reissued on CD and some sort of box set years ago. Those are also gone. Unfortunately, the box set just doesn't have a sound. It's just, the original record sounds better than the remaster, in my opinion, that was in the box set. But then we went to the original tapes, the original DAT tapes from this thing, and Rob Caldwell, or was it ADATs? I don't know. Anyway, we went to the original tapes, the master tapes, and we had Rob master from those. So this thing sounds, it's never sounded this good. It's incredible. This sounds every bit as good as the big bands from the, you know, the big four bands, or, you know, like the Overkills or the Testaments from the 80s. And that's the sound you're going to get here. It's just raw, aggressive Texas thrash metal. And they are nearly gone. So if you want one, like I said, don't hesitate. And then also, we recently put out Madrast, Into the Aquatic Sector. My copy happens to be autographed. I don't think there's any copies available online, but there are still a few of these available if you're interested. Both these have inserts. The Gammacide actually comes with an insert and a poster. This one comes with an insert. They're both black vinyl, custom center labels. So there you go. That's NoLifeTilMetal Records update. Of course, my partner in NoLifeTilMetal is Bill Bafford, who runs Roxx Records, and he recently put out the brand new album from Fear Not. This is available on CD and vinyl. I'm just going to show the vinyl. The CD is very similar, but there's pictures of the band. This is actually only their second full-length album under the name Fear Not. Now, this band's been around forever. They're an LA band from the 80s. They originally were called, I can't remember what they were originally called. They eventually changed their name to Love Life, signed to a small alternative label, put out one album under the name Love Life, which has been reissued years ago. And it's just old school 80s melodic pop metal from LA. And it's really well done. Kind of has that glammy, sleazy sound from the late 80s, early 90s. You know, like LA Guns and Faster Pussycat and Guns N' Roses, that kind of deal. And then they signed to a bigger label, and they changed their name again. I believe the label, which was run by John Elefante, ex-Kansas singer, told them to change their name to something else, so they ended up going with Fear Not. So they put out an album in 93, 91, 92, 93, which again has also been reissued under the name Fear Not. It was horrible graphics on it. Had all these flowers over it, so it looked some sort of hippie rock instead of the just, you know, old school melodic pop metal that it was. So I think the cover actually hurt it. So the reissue actually has a more metal looking cover, and it has that logo, which they've used ever since. They put out an EP 2 or 3 years ago that only came out on CD, and finally they have this album that just came out this year that is selling incredibly well. It may have to go into another pressing. That's how well it's selling. But this is Fields of Sorrow. This is an album cover that I designed with the help of the band. They had a specific idea in mind. Of course, it was kind of our ideas kind of met in the middle, because what they wanted was something a little more different than what I had in mind. But once I gave them this, they made some changes and loved it. So as you can see, it's mostly a sepia tone look, but it does have this little plant growing. It's green, showing life in kind of a Fields of Sorrow. This beat up old shack in the background with a beat up old rocking chair on the front of it, and a guitar on there. And there's also a little sign hidden over the corner over here. So there's a kind of a, it's supposed to be hidden, but it's not really hidden. There's supposed to be a hidden bonus track on here, but this song's called God's Country, and that song is on that little sign. It's hard to see intentionally, so it's back in the shadows. But this, I would say this is it's no longer pop metal. It's more of a southern rock, hard rock sound. Yeah, I don't know how else to explain it. I've heard some people say modern rock, and maybe, but it definitely has a southern tinge to the whole thing. But it's really well done, well recorded, fantastic mastering, and the songs are just very memorable. They do a cover of The Who's joined together with the band, which I really enjoyed. But you can see pictures of the band came out really, really cool. I like the way it's got the old Polaroid snapshots of the band, and they're taped and pinned onto the back. They came out really nice. And then on the inside, it's got, of course, it has the lyrics, liner notes. It's got some photos the band wanted to add of some people that have passed away, and the album is dedicated in their memory. More lyrics. Man, I'm getting a horrible glare, sorry. It is black vinyl, heavyweight black vinyl. I'm not sure, it doesn't feel like 180 grams, it's probably more like 160 gram. But there's this custom center label. Yeah, you can't really see it. Let's take it out of there. Custom center label. And then there's the Roxx logo on the B side, as is on all Roxx releases. So kind of their trademark. The B side always has the big Roxx logo on the back. So there you go. Fear Not, Fields of Sorrow, available now. That is available on Amazon. It is available on eBay. It is available at RoxxRecords.com. Again, if you go to NoLifeTilMetal Records.com, it'll get you to the same place. Just click on the Roxx logo as opposed to the NoLifeTilMetal logo. So, Fields of Sorrow, CD and vinyl. And then 2 more from the Roxx Records that I'm going to show, and then I'll get into the last few, which I believe is all, yes, the last few are all Soundmass. Brand new 7-inch single from After Winter. Okay, now After Winter, who was that band? Okay, Biogenesis, which if you've watched my video for any number of years, you know I'm a huge fan of Biogenesis. I really love their, I got to sit up on the wall there, Black Widow album that came out a couple years ago, and before that they had another album that came out that was also stellar. Both those albums had the same lineup. Biogenesis is basically Chaz Bond's band, Chaz Bond's being the vocalist, but they also had a guitar player who played on every single one of their albums. So it was the two of them who comprised Biogenesis. After they recorded that Black Widow EP, they were starting to work on their next album, and the band had a disagreement over what the lyrics should be about, what the theme should be about, and basically the band and Chaz split. So Chaz got all the members and put out a new Biogenesis album, which is available on Retroactive Records. The other guys, minus Chaz and a new vocalist, formed After Winter. Now this sound is much more progressive than even Biogenesis was. This is for fans of like Dream Theater and Fate's Warning. That's kind of the sound you're going to get here. 2 tracks on here, both of them pretty lengthy. Matter of fact, so lengthy that play it loud at 33 1/3 RPM. The songs are too long on a 7-inch to go 45 RPM. You can see so here's the deal. I did the cover art. That's an original cover art that I did. I worked on for the band. I did the layout for the back. The photos were provided by the band, and I just thought they were a little dark and small, but you know, it is what it is. But regardless, I think the whole thing came out really well, and it does have custom center labels. And yeah, fantastic album. Excuse me, fantastic single from the band. I believe 2023 you'll see a full-length album from this band. These were very limited pressing. I believe there was only 100 pressed, maybe 120. I don't remember what it was, but it was around 100 copies pressed. They are available at roxxrecords.com. Again, I did all the art, including the cover, if you're interested in this, as well as the first of 4 singles coming out this in concession from Ritual Servants. Now, this cover art I did not do. It's interesting is this is a large piece, so the 4 different covers, which you'll see when I have all of them, end up becoming one giant collage and one giant photo. And each of them has a different name. This one here is Veritas. Now, this name Ritual Service not on the cover, it's only on the back cover. But yeah, it's 2 songs on here. So you've got Heroes and Doers and Into the Swine, and fantastic. The second single, the test pressings have already been approved, and those will be coming out really soon too. This is thrash, speed metal, whatever you want to call it. Patrick Best being the main man here, but you've got Ryan Roebuck on lead guitar and Seth Boone on drums, which I think Seth's been in the band since the beginning. Ryan is new to the band. This is his first recording. I also think, if I'm not mistaken, one of these 2 tracks has Robert Gutierrez playing a little bit of lead guitar on one of the tracks. He actually did an entire lead for one whole song. I'm kind of hoping that one of those leads one day will get released as like an alternative version. I think that's really, really cool, and you know, to hear Robert solo in the song as opposed to their new guitar player Ryan. But who knows if that'll ever happen? That's just, you know, in my head. But anyhow, 1 of 4, and grab them again. They are very limited pressing. Can't remember. I think it was 100, only 100 of these as well. So, roxxrecords.com. All right, and then we'll get into the Soundmass. Might as well stick with the 7 inches. This is 9 Years Denied. This I did not do the cover art on this one. The cover art was done by Rob Rock's wife. You know, Rob Rock's singer for Impolitary and Avantasia, and man, he's singing so many different bands. Mars Project. That Rob Rock. He's actually the vocalist on Obsession, and his wife did the artwork. Now, my contribution to it was adding the song titles to the bottom in a similar fashion, as well as a little bit of text, and then of course doing the entire layout and putting the whole thing together. You know, the spine. This one actually has a spine, which is a bit unusual for a 7-inch. You don't always see a spine on them. This one actually comes with a white sleeve on the inside. Most don't, but this one did. Custom center labels. Now this is a Soundmass, so soundmass.com. And although the label is based in the UK, if you're in Europe, order from them because your shipping is going to be cheaper. But if you're in the US, the shipping is going to be a little higher than most companies, because what they basically do is take all their product and ship it to one place in the United States, and then that place ships out to everybody else. So it's going to be fairly quick shipping because it's going to ship from the US. But again, because you have to pay shipping from there to here, and then again, the shipping is a little higher, but still, it's better than paying direct shipping from the UK or Australia. But yeah, you got Obsession and Payday. Obsession has Rob Rock on guitar. And then on Payday, it's got Stacey Roberts. Did I say on guitar? Rob Rock on vocals. And then Payday has got Stacey Roberts from The Brave on vocals, and then Rex Carroll from White Cross and Fierce Heart on guitar. All right. One vinyl record from them. they are pretty much doing the entire Mortification. This is a small run of this one. This is the Evil Addiction Destroying Machine. I did do the layout for this one. Obviously the cover is the original cover. I did have to alter it a little bit to work for the vinyl, but it came out fantastic. Has the original Mortification logo on it. Photos of the bands. I always love this photo of the band for several reasons. About this time this album came out, Ultimatum was getting some heat for having put out an album called Lex Metalis, which was a covers album, and people were like, "Oh, you're a Christian band, you can't record songs by Saxon and Iron Maiden," and which we did, Megadeth, and, you know, those kind of things. So Steve, in solidarity with us, he put on his battle jacket with his Ultimatum patch, and of course he's got the Saxon and the Metallica and Megadeth and all these bands on it. So it was kind of a solidarity thing he did for us, and he told me about it when the album came out. So I was just, it's just, you know, kind of a touching thing to do by a friend and a guy I really respect. So there you go, great picture of the band in the back. And then it's got the insert with photos of the bands, more photos of the band, liner notes, and of course lyrics. I believe this is black vinyl. So it's got custom labels. So it's got two different labels too. So this side is totally different. Got another picture of the band on one side. So there you go. The Evil Addiction Destroying Machine from Mortification. And the rest are CDs. Let's see here. We've got Mortification, Break the Curse. And this is a double CD. Break the Curse has been released several different times. Break the Curse was Light Force, actually. Light Force was a band from the 80s. They had an album on Pure Metal. They put out several albums. But for whatever reason, they went from a straightforward kind of new wave of British heavy metal sounding band, sounding a bit like Tank and Iron Maiden and Girl School mixed together. But they eventually got some new members, Steve Rowe being the main guy, and Light Force put out a Break the Curse demo. Now, it was black and white, but this is the demo cover that they put out. Eventually, the album was re-released the demo was re-released as an album by Nuclear Blast Records under the Break the Curse 1990, I believe was the name of the album, on CD only, and then later on it was re-released on vinyl by Roxx Records, and now it's being re-released again, this time with the original Light Force cover, but with the Mortification logo on it. And it's obviously got a blue tint to it to give it some pop and color. But it's got tons of photos. It's a 2 CD set, so you get the entire album, that same album that Nuclear Blast put out. So it's got all the tracks from the 1990 demo, Break the Curse, and then it also has the additional track. Excuse me. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have any additional tracks on the A side. The B side, however, the B disc, the second disc, has all live tracks, all recorded from that era. So it's got Blood Sacrifice, Brutal Warfare, Illusion of the Light, Break the Curse, Journey of Reconciliation, Searching, which was an old Light Force song, Infectious Growth, old Light Force song, City Streets, old Light Force song, Impulsation, which of course would be recorded years later in Mortification, City Streets, Bathed in Blood, Eyes of Destruction, again, old Light Force song that they totally thrashed up. I love this version. Your Last Breath, New Beginnings, and the Majestic Infiltration of Order, and finally, Turn. And this came out stellar. I mean, it really, really did. It's got a beautiful 16-page booklet with photos of that era of the band. You can see Cameron, was it named Cameron Hall, who was the original guitar player. He was the guitar player who crossed over with Steve from Light Force to Mortification. However, he didn't end up staying with the band until the next album. Jason Sherlock is in the bands here too. He was also in Light Force. So you can see all those guys there. Jason looks a lot different there with such a young guy right there. He of course went on to play in Paramecium and Horde among others. All the lyrics. There's that separate cover for the live album. Cool center spread, live photo of the band from that era with Cameron on guitar. But you get the idea. Really nice booklet. 2-disc set. Soundmass.com. This next one is very similar in that it's a 2-disc set, but this is a more recent album. I can't remember what year this came out. But it should be on here, right? 2015. So you've got Realm of the Skeletor, which is one of the last albums that they did. Might have even been the last album. I'm not making up my head. That they've done as Mortification. But again, 2-disc set. So you've got the full album on disc 1, and then you've got the entire live set on 21 tracks on the second CD, live from 2015. Mixture of old stuff and new stuff. So you get Brutal Warfare off the first album. You know, and it goes all the way to stuff like Eccentric Forces, Let's Hear Some Noise, Feed Your Hungry Ears. I mean, all that's newer stuff. Destroyer Behold from the early years, Erasing the Goblin from newer. So it's a nice mixture of songs. Again, it's a nice fat booklet with tons of photos. There's Steve himself there. There is guitar player Lincoln Bowen, who I think was with the band longer than any other guitar player. New drummer Andrew Esnoff. Nice collage from, and I think all those photos, if I'm not mistaken, are actually from that 2015 show, which is kind of nice because that's not something always available. So there you go, another one, and it's of course got the extra live cover, which if you notice, there's been several releases from Soundmass that have this particular live cover as the other side, and each of them is the same except it's got a different year on it and a different color Mortification logo. All right, last two, I promise. This is another long video, sorry. Australian heavy metal hard rock band Cry Mercy. This was an album that came out on Row Productions back in the day. It's been out of print, hard to find for years. It's been remastered. It sounds stellar. We redid the artwork, the front cover especially. We kept the green theme from the original, but you can see the hands on the... I really like the way this cover came out. Yes, I did do the cover art as well as the rest of the design. You can see the CD design there. There was the original cover in the background there. That's what I have no idea what it is or what it was. Almost looked like a bunch of candles on stands to me. I really can't tell with the Cry Mercy logo, but we did put the original cover in there. The label just didn't want that cover because it just didn't do anything for him, and I don't blame him. And then again, it's got a really nice booklet. You can see the hands once again hanging on the fence. Photo of the band. That is actually the only photo that appeared in the original booklet. So we went collage with lots of flyers and other photos of the band, and of course all the lyrics. Big old fat booklet. So there you go, Cry Mercy, available at soundmass.com. And then one that I'm really happy with, this is Trinity. This is Memories of the Ancient Presence. This is doom metal, so good, epic doom metal. 3 vocalists. They got 1 male vocalist, 2 different female vocalists, and this thing is stellar. From what I'm told from Soundmass owner Adam, this was a 10-year project by these guys. So incredible. You see the background. I love the graphics on this one. Very, very dark, very ominous. The cover art painting is awesome. I obviously did some Photoshop work to the cover and added the borders, and if you look really closely on each of the borders, you can see the little logo that the band uses, the Trinity logo. But there's I love the way the booklet came out. It's got this little girl running throughout the whole thing. A little eerie, a little creepy, but it's doom metal, so it works. And then one of the last photos, let me see if I can find that one. She's kind of laying on the ground, hopefully just sleeping. But yeah, and there's pictures of the three band members. The male vocalist, whose name is Bard, excuse me, does all the instrumentation, I believe, and the male vocals. So stellar. I really, really like this album. I mean, it's epic doom metal. I mean, if you're into bands like Candlemass, Solitude Alternus, that kind of thing, you'll probably dig this. Trinity. And Memories of the Ancient Presence. That's available at soundmass.com. And I think it's probably available at some of the other places as well, but Soundmass is the company to go to if you want to buy direct from them, support their label, and support the band. So that's it for my NoLifeTilMetal graphics update. Thanks for watching and sticking with me for nearly 25 minutes. And that's it. God bless. Stay strong.